Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back.
Let's give that another go, eh?
Yeah, that's not that good.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey guys, what's going on?
You were like,
Hey guys, what's going on?
You're like being all kawaii, or they're like, hey guys.
All right, whatever. Chop. It's getting cut. Anyways, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the still unnamed podcast. My name is Skylar.
Nick, but we're settling on a name.
We're getting
that
there.
Seemed loaded there. We're settling on a name today specifically, because we have to. Otherwise, we can't get a YouTube channel started.
And I mean, and kind of one of the reasons that I even kind of worded it that way was I did want to point out that if everything goes according to plan, today should also be the day that the first episode gets loaded up on YouTube, and hopefully
overnight.
Overnight,
expect them on Saturdays.
Yeah.
We're gonna be uploading Friday nights probably, or by Saturday morning. Either way.
If we don't get lazy, which we tend to do.
Why the fuck is Steam popping up? Like, literally, this computer's been logged on for a bit, but it's like, hey, you want to play a game right now?
Come on,
see
man.
you're recording something.
Yeah, come on. Stop what you're doing. Play a game.
And now
real
Java's
quick.
popping up. Literally everything's taken its chance at popping up needlessly on my screen, which pisses me off. Anyway, this is episode 4. Hopefully this is going to be a significant improvement in quality. So we have the first episode, which had some weird cuts. Honestly, looking back,
Wasn't
not that bad. I mean, at least we had the phone camera going rather than the other camera.
Right, right.
So, and then episode 2, that camera, when you compare it to the phone camera now, it's a big drop. But and then episode 3, yeah, that one had a lot of issues. But this one should be
episode 3 is one of my favorites so far.
This one should be pretty consistent. I feel like the camera's fully charged, the mic's properly set up.
and we have, hopefully it doesn't look stupid, which maybe hopefully the phone stayed perfectly unsync, but we have everything perfectly lined up. With the corner, so...
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to give them all the insider secrets.
Well, it's not secret.
I mean, it's all in the business, dude. You can't just give that kind of stuff out. Yeesh. All right. Anyway, topics-wise, last time we kind of... he had a topic. I think I fell short on topics, but we salvaged it. This time we're going the other way around.
Salvaged it?
Yeah, we salvaged it. Reddit and North Korean prisoners.
Oh, yeah. We definitely ended on a sad note.
A sad salvage, but it was a salvage. These folders are going to probably sound awful, me ruffling them around, so I'm going to avoid doing that too much. But we've got a couple folders here. And they pertain to our topic today. They probably are quite gross, but they are very old. They pertain to D&D. Well, not D&D specifically, but paper and pencil RPGs, which is what we're going to talk a little bit about today.
Very excited.
We've both fucked around with them plenty in our lives.
Oh, definitely.
Different games, different versions. I'm assuming both of us. I specifically have done a lot of Palladium when I was younger. The only game I've ever played fully, though, campaign-wise, was a Call of Cthulhu game. That's the only ever one.
Yeah, so good. For me, one of the first, when I first started playing in high school, one of the friends that got me into it, he really liked Hackmaster, which was essentially, it was a fictional game that they played in this D&D based comic called Knights of the Dinner Table, I think is what it was called.
So it's D&D, but an offshoot?
Yeah, it's got a bit more levity to it. I think I was telling you a little bit about it earlier in the day, but
I mean, you mentioned the name, but I didn't get the reference. I'm not familiar with Hackmaster.
Right. Yeah. No, it's got a little bit more levity to it, a little bit of interesting changes, so it's unique enough that it seems more like a cousin to D&D kind of thing.
Okay.
And then from there, I moved on to just doing sort of a homebrew mix of different rules.
From different ones.
Yeah, from different ones, starting with maybe D&D based characters.
But no, core rules that you like. I always liked the Palladium rules. Even if we were ripping from other universes, I always liked D100 set rules, which is interesting because like we are trying to do a D&D group soon, and we're going to D&D like traditional,
right?
5th edition. So with that in mind, now we're going to a D20 system, which is weird for me.
That's what I'm mostly familiar with. So D20 is going to be a cakewalk for me. My preference is obviously a D10 system. I think that's one of my favorites. World of Darkness was another big one that I played. Because for me, especially whenever I DM, I find my best and most interesting stories are the ones that are kind of either modern or somewhere between like a less high fantasy and a more modern fantasy based one. Mm-hmm. Just because like I can come up with stories better that way. Like,
gotcha. It's easier for you if it's modern.
Right. Well, and even as a reader, I mean, I know you know this about me. Like, I never really could get into trying to read like the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
So is that gonna fuck you up in our D&D?
No. See, I love playing it. That's just what I feel comfortable DMing as.
Oh, okay. I got
yeah.
you.
No, I love playing in it, but I couldn't ever create a worthwhile story in that kind of setting.
Gotcha. We'll see if I can. I mean, we're gonna do pre-written adventures for just to test run the group and see if the group's consistent. So that's a lot of time right there. Like those,
right.
That's pretty much whole characters like devoted to pre-written, and then maybe I'll write something if the group stays together post that campaign.
Right.
If we can get through a campaign, I'll be proud.
I think what you said was we had level 15.
Yeah, level 15 is where we're gonna cap out. For D&D fans, or it's not going to cap at 15 necessarily, but it's Curse of Strahd, and I think 15 is about where you end.
Right,
Curse of Strahd.
right.
So that's what I'm going to be running them through, and we'll see how it goes.
I think it's gonna be really.
We still need a
I'm
third.
excited.
We only have 2 players at the moment, and I want at least 3. But we're not too picky about like how many people we get. We just want to make sure they're there every night because we both have plenty of experience with games that last all of 1 or 2 sessions and then never get talked about again. People's character sheets get lost almost immediately. It's like, oh, I got to make a new character night 2 of the game, and it's like
half of the group shows up one week, the other half of the group shows up the next week. Like, I mean, consistency is definitely key with any good campaign because it takes a little bit of build-up time, but then once you get into the meat of it, it's, like, so satisfying, you know?
Yeah, I mean, getting 5 players or something, I think 5 players is, like, the ideal size or some crap, and, like, getting that on a regular basis, like, I can't imagine.
God, just having everybody's, like, web of work schedule and shit like that completely.
Yeah, life, like, as a grown-ass adult, like, how do these people manage it? Like, and it's not like people are D&Ding exclusively before they have responsibilities, like, so, I don't know, people manage it. I guess the people who mostly manage it probably have it as their main hobby, and we have it as, like, a side hobby, so.
Yeah.
That probably fucks it up, but we'll see. We're recruiting. We'll find some people. As for the folders, this is old ass Palladium stuff for the most part, but not really. I think it was probably heavily homebrewed too. Like there was no pre-written adventures. I mean, I think it was all homebrewed back in the day. I don't think we messed with pre-written. I think maybe the Call of Cthulhu campaign I did, which wasn't me DMing. That was me as a player. I think that may have been pre-written or at least heavily inspired because it was like the whole Innsmouth situation, Dagon and stuff.
Yeah, I know.
I think it's Dagon, right? Is he the fishy god?
I'm trying to remember.
I mean, there's a lot of fishy-ish.
It's been a long time.
But it's the one with the fish dudes, right?
Also, I was always terrible with the names.
Yeah. Either way, we thought we'd take a look at these. I've avoided taking a look at them as much as possible, so I guess we'll go sheet by sheet. I'm gonna have to, painstakingly scan them later, so that way we can put it on the screen for you guys. At least the funny ones.
Right.
So let's just start. I'll just pull out a sheet and see what it is. Okay, this looks like someone's character sheet. I think I remember who did this one. The name is... Okay, here. Actually, I'll let you take a look at it, and then I'll describe it.
This is going to be interesting. Let's take a look here. Kratos. And this is... you said this was 2nd edition?
It's Palladium. I
Oh,
don't
Palladium.
remember what
Right.
edition.
Let's see. We have a. Okay, so first off, I love the picture. I love like the little ID thing that's drawn in the top left corner here.
Yeah, I think I encouraged them to draw themselves.
And there was like so much like board doodle work put into both
I said
the name
I was
and
going
the-
to describe it. I was just letting you look
Oh,
at it.
okay.
bitch.
Sorry. I was
Taking my
already
work
getting
from
into
me.
it.
Yeah, no, the dude definitely put some effort into the artwork here, so props to him on that. He was probably just doodling in between his turns.
You can tell when somebody just kind of gets it before everybody else does in terms of making the character sheet.
Well, I mean, he was like one of the newest people to the idea of RPGs. I can't remember his exact name, and that makes me feel bad, but I don't think we need to be throwing names out there anyway, necessarily. It's not that big a deal. But this was back during my like first run at college.
Right.
And this is, so there was a community college that our friend Logan went to. And on weekends, I would sometimes come up and hang out and do stupid stuff, like, party and such. And I guess at some point we introduced him to not only paper and pencil RPGs, but Minecraft. And I just remember that motherfucker being addicted to both, like almost immediately. But it looks like he played a assassin with crossbow and blow dart gun as his main weapons.
Yep, I noticed that.
Blow dart gun.
Blow dart gun.
All right. We'll not go into too much detail on every sheet, but props to that guy. We'll have at least kept that up on the screen for a good portion while we were describing it.
Right.
I'll obviously pass them to you again afterwards, so you can take another look if you like.
That's an interesting one. I noticed. Oh well, I mean he has a throwing knife, so he could possibly use it as a melee weapon. But I noticed he's mostly a ranged.
Yeah, he went full range, which was interesting. I mean, with sneak attack, probably, I don't know. I don't know if we followed the rules enough for it to matter, really. This looks assassin. Like someone's attempt at a map. It's obviously not my handwriting. Maybe they were trying to map it out based on me. Like, maybe they were trying to map it out as I don't know why they would bother. It's not like I have a mental map.
Right.
So, or maybe someone else DM'd and I got a hold of their map. There's nothing really there. We probably won't even scan that one.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing. I don't even know if you can see that over here, but there's really nothing on that.
You don't bother showing the camera. I'm gonna scan them. Well, for the most part.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't scan this one. Not even worth the time. It's just like a little map, I guess.
So this one's a lot of pieces. Oh, and this is not DM related. Okay, there's other stuff in here.
I saw a drawing of somebody.
Well, where's all the pieces to this?
It looked like the drawing of Trisha from Napoleon Dynamite. I spent like 2 minutes on the shading on your upper lip.
Dude,
I really wish you guys could have seen that. I really wish you guys could have seen that picture.
I'm not throwing that one up. I'll throw up my cringy D&D stuff, but I don't even know when I drew that. But okay, so I think I had planned on expanding this to more pieces, but this was when I was pretty young. It was like before I'd even like properly DM'd, I think, but I'd had the idea that if I was to DM, I needed to create a world. So I started to like create some map.
Oh, here we go. And this is how that fits together?
Yeah.
Nice. All right, let's see. We have a nice forest area.
Yeah, we had okay, so I'll describe it. You can look at it. You can look at it while I'm describing it. I'll just point. Cuz I kind of remember. This was kind of like a tribal-esque in the snowy mountains-esque people, only accessible by this one port, super stronghold, inaccessible. You ain't gonna get to them.
Gotcha.
This was kind of, let me get a better look at it. This peninsula was supposed to be like its own little cut-off kingdom to a degree also, where there was like a tribal society that was completely walled in their little and they're the only zone with trees over here, so it might have been elves. I don't know what it was going to be, but it was like basically a slavery situation,
I thought that was a Colosseum. Okay, that's like a little walled-in city kind of situation.
Kind of like a walled-in forest. Like they just walled the elves in to deal with them.
Nice.
And then
Attack on Titan situation.
I don't think most of these mattered. These were just kind of like small little towns, but then this was supposed to be a big thing. This was supposed to be 4 suburbs of like kind of a metropolis-esque situation outside the Imperial City, the Dragon City, I think, or what did I call it? What is it called?
Dragon City.
Is it called Dragon City?
It's called Dragon City.
I was young, all right? I'm dumb. But I named them after each of the like 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Yeah, so they were each supposed to be representative of that. Like, you know, they were supposed to be all shitty in their own way. You know, starving, diseased, you know, gangster-ridden, or like literally just like, I don't know what the mortem one, the death one was gonna be. Like, I don't know, a whole. I mean, it could have been necromancy, but I don't know.
Even then, that's still like counter death, so that doesn't really make a lot of sense.
And then this was, I think, another campaign. This was the campaign that Kratos was supposed to be in, I think. So this was a different map that I made. This one's more in college. This was obviously way before college. This was heavily not finished, but I did work mostly on the island because that's where they were going to be for the whole start of the campaign was on this island. So there was a city, walled in again. I mean, people used walls in these times, all right? People, that was your main form of defense. And then just kind of a stretch of road and then a big volcano forest situation. I don't remember, honestly, the lore of this island enough, but it looks like all the little tribal cities are really stupidly named. There's Bop, Gore, Gur, Growlin,
Think,
Gur again, Fink,
Gur again,
and
there's 2 Gurs.
Wrath, and then the one non-tribal. Actually, the non-tribal cities are Metin, Wrath, and Irin, and Karth. It looks like, yeah, but the tribal cities are stupidly named. Yeah, I was horrible at naming apparently, but that's another map. So I haven't done a whole lot of
map
mapping.
section over here.
All right, let's get rid of some of these stupid ass drawings.
Hey, that moon one's pretty cool.
Yeah, you don't.
You could just see him, like, for those that don't watch the videos, he's just like throwing drawings.
I think this one
in the
wasn't
back
that bad.
corner
I'm actually not
table.
ashamed of this one as much. Actually, I am. Throw that down there.
I'm just cute. Yeah, we're
Throw that down
we're just throwing like drawings into a corner behind the table.
It works for now. I think this was the assassin gnome Kratos's inventory sheet. No, maybe not, because this has a staff, a stone dagger, and special leather armor. This was someone else's inventory sheet.
Kratos.
Yeah, that's what he named his little gnome
I know,
assassin.
it just cracks me up.
I mean,
They set of clothes, satchel, it's some pretty basic shit.
all right, we're gonna have to. There's gonna be a lot of papers here, so we might need to start splitting them up. And like that way you can like. So look at it for a second, get an idea of what it is in this.
This just says Nick's inventory.
Oh, isn't just my inventory?
I think that's just whenever you went camping one time. 6 dogs?
I had 6 dogs.
Yeah, I guess.
Was I collecting dogs? I like to do weird things like that in RPGs because I'm a bit of an asshole. I like to do things that throw the DM off. So this guy was 64, whoever this was.
460 gold.
This is definitely me, I think. This is a were shaman. A were shaman. Yeah, I think this was me. I don't think it has much other relevant info besides being a were shaman that was for some reason 64 fucking years old. I think we rolled for age.
Wait a minute. I think I found the cover to those 2 sheets.
No, this is someone else. This is me. Okay, so this is me, and this is my inventory. Someone else was the were shaman.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't get to see the were shaman.
Or maybe I made 2 characters. Because this is...
I've done that before.
This is a mercenary fighter. And this one was a wolfen mercenary fighter. And I remember this is the one I actually had intention of playing because he was a social background of a pirate, and I love the idea of playing a pirate. So...
Me too.
Although ship mechanics in most games are kind of trash.
Yes.
Oh no.
Especially ship battle.
Is this story writing? Oh god.
Oh wait, we have some story writing here?
Oh no. Oh god, how bad is this gonna be?
I'll read it out later.
No. I'll read out my own shame. I just gotta make sure that this is back-to-back pages. I don't... So yeah, I guess I guess part of the island was gonna be dealing with the race coils, which is like coyote werewolf creatures, I think, that are in Palladium.
Okay.
I think. I'm not gonna double check right now, but this is 4. Was there like more of this before? Like, was this?
I mean, I didn't see anything.
There's a bunch of pages in here. We'll read 4, and if there's more that was supposed to go before it, whatever. Yeah. So location Island of Femoral. It says on the top right.
Here we go.
And it's titled The Island of Necromancy. This is gonna be some really bad OC.
I can't wait.
It's not gonna be cringy, but it's just gonna be probably boring. If it gets too boring, I'll stop. A millennia ago, the island of Femoral served as a site of great worship for Lord Anubis in a time when gods of all varieties played large parts in shaping the world and its inhabitants. This time, however, didn't last forever, and revolts against gods started occurring throughout the world. The island of Femoral was no exception and served as the site of a savage rebellion inspired by greed. The necromancers who inhabited the island sought more power, and due to their arrogance, decided they no longer needed to follow or worship Anubis. The necromancers... Anubis is actually the god, now that I think about it. I thought I just stupidly named it, but Anubis is the god of death in Palladium. That is actually his name. Okay. So I didn't just, like, stupidly steal the name Anubis. That's actually in Palladium, the name of the god of death. The necromancers began to sacrifice large amounts of the indigenous population, which would later be known as coils. While the necromancers had always used the coils, which they saw as beasts and nothing more for sacrifice, they now used them to increase their own power, ignoring proper worship of Anubis completely. The necromancers' arrogance angered Anubis, and they weren't ignorant of this fact. The necromancers sought to create an artifact of great power in order to attempt to slay Anubis, to claim his domain as their own. The artifact they sought was none other than a physical form of Anubis' power. Unfortunately for the necromancers, the coil population and the few remaining managed to remain hidden? Okay, that was just horribly written there. Remaining managed to remain. Okay. The dark artifact lay unfinished as Anubis unleashed his wrath on the necromancers, killing their entire population on the island at once. Okay, that was fast. However, unbeknownst to Anubis, his killing of all the necromancers gave the artifact what it needed to take form. There lay the blade of Anubis, seemingly forever dormant and unused forevermore, until now. With the absence of the necromancers, the coil population managed to regrow and prosper for centuries. The coil held control of the island that once meant nothing more than a burial ground to them. Their control began to falter when the humans arrived, with the force seemingly ... I didn't finish.
Nice. So that actually wasn't that bad. That really wasn't.
Okay, it wasn't awful, but I think I was older than I thought when I wrote that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, could you possibly ballpark how old you were?
I think that was post high school, so that's not as bad as I expected. No. So, it's not as interesting as it could have been by any means, but I think this was more as like, because I couldn't even show this to my players, because like I didn't want them to know that they were going for the Blade of Anubis.
Right.
I didn't want them to know that, because like, you know, like I probably hadn't even designed what the Blade of Anubis was. Okay, but this is an NPC. I remember this. Urzin Coil Commander. He was supposed to be one of the main bosses at the end of it, and I'd rolled him out completely. Uses he two-handed axe and a two-handed mace in his inventory. I think I had set him up to where he could... I think it might be a thing where you can dual wield two-handed weapons, maybe, if you're strong enough. So I think maybe I was setting him up to do that, to dual wield two-handed weapons. Or at least I was going to force it, regardless.
Right.
Because I love that in World of Warcraft. I think it's Fury Warriors, who they can dual wield two-handed weapons. And I've always loved it because they're fucking huge, dude. It looks amazing to have two huge weapons in each hand compared to like...
It does. No, it looks really cool.
Like, you don't see it enough. And then this was supposed to be his accompanying... Oh, I was still using the name Azur for occasionally for characters. This was supposed to be his accompanying... priest or like another NPC that I rolled. This one's a level 1 though. I only rolled him as a level 2, I guess. I guess this was supposed to be a fairly short campaign. Like I was really gonna get them to the Coil Commander really fast if I only rolled him as a level 2.
Right.
And then this priest, which I think was supposed to be in the fight as well. You're supposed to fight them together.
That's it, like a level 1 priest.
Yeah, just a human high priest that was working with the coils. Probably trying to get the Blade of Anubis. I don't quite remember. This is just another person's inventory. Here, I'm gonna start piling the pages back up. We don't need them everywhere.
Here,
there's the
I don't even know why
pile.
I'm over here trying to sort them and shit.
Yeah, don't bother that. Okay, this is Zog the Mercenary. This person didn't write much.
Zog the Mercenary?
Birth order, bastard, weight, husky, height, average, age, 17, disposition, wild man, land of origin, Eastern Territory, type of environment they grew up in, cult, racism against kobolds. That's another thing you can roll for in Palladium is racism. You can roll for everything, so we did. As kids, we loved rolling for everything. Like,
that was the fun part.
And so therefore all our characters are racist because you were pretty much racist against something no matter what if you rolled for it.
Birth order, bastard.
I think there maybe was the option to be against racism against no one, but like, how are you gonna roll that when all
right?
Like, good luck rolling that. This is a Tusker. I'm not sure if I remember what a Tusker is. It says Tusker Transformation. I'm not sure I know what that is.
Tusker.
Oh, I think this was me, maybe. Maybe not. Herbert the Pig. Warthog. Or maybe I just rolled a pig.
You just rolled a pig?
Yeah, I rolled a character, an NPC pig, for them to fight.
Just some... Okay.
So that way I had stats to work with.
Gotcha, because I used to do that too. I would always like to roll main.
And that was like a named
fights.
one. It was a Herbert. Yeah. This is another sheet for Kratos the gnome. He actually wrote a bio. Okay, so 17-year-old gnome assassin from a large ranch in an old kingdom on the West Islands, thin in weight and average in height, last born into a small, wealthy family, which explains his arrogance but can also be suspicious. So he took all the stuff that we rolled and put it in a paragraph rather than... Yeah, this guy got it. I hope he actually found a reliable D&D game at some point, because I don't know if he ever played outside of this game, but he definitely got what it's about.
Yeah,
like, he was already trying from day one, like, writing backstory based off of, like, props to that guy. Take a look at that.
Oh, yeah, and the classic middle school S.
Oh, yeah.
That's always a good one.
Middle school S. That's just a blank one. Here's another sheet for Cave, the gnome assassin. Holy shit, he made so many sheets.
Kratos the gnome assassin. Do you just play one character through multiple, like... Or
no,
this
is just all for the same... I think he maybe he lost it at one point and had to write it again, but that's him twice.
Yep, still with the blow dart gun and the crossbow and the throwing knife.
This may have been
Mouth weapons is a skill.
You tell me, but is that James's handwriting? That might have been someone else's horrible handwriting. But James had pretty bad handwriting. I think that might.
I mean, it's pretty fucking similar. I'm not gonna lie.
I think that might have been the follow-up. But that was we had a friend, James, that passed away. I think this might have been his priest, Garthok, the priest of darkness.
I mean, that sounds pretty similar to something you'd make. Handwriting.
I mean, a lot of it's written stuff. I mean, rolled stuff. So I can't judge off of like the actual like stuff because he didn't get to choose. It was rolled for him, or he rolled it. This is Felpin, the elf thief.
Felpin, the elf thief. Oh, Felpin.
Oh my god, this guy's handwriting is
I can't
horrible.
even barely read. Lizard, reptilian.
This one's a ranger. Shit. I can't read that one. One's impossible.
This one's kind of hard to read also. I might be able to read this.
That's another blank piece.
Oh wow, this is really it's Barth Ilric.
Can you read it?
Weight.
I think that goes with it too. That's
birth order second, weight, pot belly. Paranoid, trust no one. Kingdom bystander.
Okay, that's everything in the first folder. That first folder had a lot. That might be all of it. Like, the other folders might have very little. So this is when I was going to play, and someone else was going to DM. And I was going to play Rafik, a Wolfen from the Kingdom of Byzantium, pirate. This was my wolf and pirate. Yeah. And a couple drawings of him that I had started.
Oh, nice. See,
Yeah, the fancy big sheets that I didn't fill
mercenary
out fully.
warrior palladium. Oh yeah.
Very
nice
little in
drawing.
there. Very little in there. That's it, really. And then this one, is this all blank paper? Man, I have a lot of blank paper. If anyone needs blank paper,
hit us up. We'll send you some blank paper.
This one's someone's changeling mind mage named Findle. Mind mage.
That sounds pretty cool.
Probably OP as fuck. Anything. Yeah, this is gotta be Logan's, because this says Logan's inventory here. So yeah, I think he was trying to be a mind mage. In reference to that,
that would make a lot of sense.
We obviously made it clear that no mystics are allowed in our campaign that we're starting, because
yeah, they can get a little crazy.
We're not interested in one person being more overpowered than everyone else from the get-go, like
including the DM.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was interesting. I mean,
pretty interesting.
It was kind of like a grab bag. It could have been more interesting. I thought there'd be more OC in there. I'm glad I read off the one little bit of OC that was in there, just because like there wasn't much.
Right. I mean, but it's still pretty cool to look at.
Yeah, I didn't look at it before the podcast because I wanted it to be fresh.
Right.
So it did kind of derive to us just like reading off the character sheets. But if you guys like D&D at all and like the idea of like old character sheets pulled out of the closet, then maybe you got a kick out of seeing failed misadventures.
Yeah.
And if anything, it was more to prompt the conversation of D&D or role playing in general, because like we said, we're planning on doing that fairly soon as a group.
Oh, definitely. And I'm super excited.
And at the very least, we're going to be given updates. If it went well, if the group seemed consistent and wasn't opposed to it, I wouldn't mind streaming the sessions.
That would be pretty interesting.
I would require the players to maybe be a little bit decorum, maybe. I mean, I'm fine getting rowdy, but like you can't be like getting smashed, you know. Yeah. You can't be like passing out drunk.
Vet your behaviors a little bit.
I mean, you can cuss and
and
role play all you want, but like don't be over here trying to like sexualize my NPCs constantly, you know? Like I already think
a couple times enough.
Yeah. But like if you're trying to fuck every NPC that's a woman that I put in front of you, yeah, that's gonna be weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird enough when people do that in a group. Like, have you ever had those players that just seem like, oh, woman NPC, I seduce?
I have, and that's the funniest thing, is it's like, as two bros sitting across each other from a table, you want to RP right now? Is that what you're trying to do? You're trying to do not only over the fucking internet, like, RP, sexual RP, you're doing, like, face-to-face sexual RP with your homie?
Yeah, it's fine if it's story appropriate. Like, if it's, like, a big character in the story that happens to be your type and you think you can seduce them and that's part of your character and you're role-playing your character, go for it, maybe.
Right.
It might be awkward for us to have to role-play it, but we'll get through it. Maybe we'll just get down to dice rolls and not have to RP that, but
yeah, like,
don't be doing it all the time.
Exactly.
That's weird.
I'm not gonna be sitting here and fucking, RPing with you like every fucking chance encounter with, a fucking gnome chick with low self-esteem that you want to go American Psycho on.
Oh my god. Yeesh. Yeah, no.
Or is it just
I wouldn't
me?
expect you to do that. I wonder when I was throwing those papers if they jostled the mic any. We'll see. Hopefully
it
not.
Wouldn't be too. Either way, even if they did, it wouldn't be nearly as bad as it was the last time.
Okay. So, yeah, we jostled the mic quite a bit in the third episode, but
not
hopefully
too bad.
That doesn't happen this time.
I think we should be good to go on that.
We cut down our jittery anxiety-ness a notch or two.
Getting better every time. But yeah, no, it's interesting to bring up because unfortunately, like, I mean, I've done so much moving. I wish I had even a couple of my character sheets that I used to have.
Yeah, I asked him to bring some and he failed.
I had none.
Be sure to leave a comment if you are listening, letting him know he failed.
Every time. Every time we can't have a single nice podcast.
It's nice. I'm just
cranking up the heat a little bit. Flambeing it.
cranking up the heat. All right. So, do you have? Okay, you didn't bring any papers.
I don't have any papers. I
bring
do.
me some.
I do have a story, a little
stuff.
RP related stuff here. There is a couple, two that I can think of right off the bat that were some of my favorite RP characters that I've ever ran. My second favorite one is obviously like gonna be Call of Cthulhu. That's just hands down one of my favorite games. When I was in high school, my friend's dad had a bunch of not expansions, fucking adventures for it, essentially, like the adventure modules. Mm-hmm. So like he ran us through like a really good, like about a year-long session, and that's what got me like into really liking the Call of Cthulhu and sort of the more modern style, because before that all I ever played was the medieval fantasy stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
which is
awesome.
That's what everyone plays starting out, is the fantasy for sure.
Of course. And so like that one kind of got me in there. That was like really, really fun. There were a couple campaigns that I think will always stick with me that I do want to run with somebody at some point, like just in the future. I don't really care about it too much right now, but like there's one that takes place in an old abandoned movie theater that's just awesome. Like it's just like this giant, like epic, grandiose adventure that just like leaves you at the end. You're like, what the fuck, dude?
So it's a pre-written.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And you've played it before, or?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. That was essentially.
So you're wanting to DM it now that you've played it?
I mean, yeah, I think that'd be interesting.
Because playing it
at some
again
point
is kind of cheating to a degree.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would like to DM it at some point. That would be fun, because it's especially friendly, like with how Call of Cthulhu is, with having DMs. Like they have like NPCs that are even already pre-written out that the DM could roleplay as to help along the story if you get stuck, because that's kind of easy to do in Call of Cthulhu. And then I think overall my favorite character was something I ran all the way through after high school for about 5 years. It was this one character, and he started out as it was a pirate couple. It was two characters. It was a dude and a chick, and it was Captain Chris Sabin and then Misty Delacroix or some shit, and like
LaCroix.
Delacroix, because I was going for like the French pirate.
LaCroix in modern times means seltzer water. Yeah. For you know.
So the astute hipster.
Oh god, don't ever do that again. What was that? Is that a commercial that you have memorized or something?
It's a Post Malone song, man.
He says LaCroix in that song?
It's somewhere. I mean, I can't remember which one it was. I don't even know the names of it. It's just the shit that pops on the radio.
I'm surprised you can understand what Post Malone's actually saying. I just kind of enjoyed the song and smiled along.
I mean, I pick up every third or fourth word, so it's not really an effective form to communicate. I think we have a better communication rate with gorillas, but...
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, we have a good communication rate of like at least like 3/4 of words we could get across, right? And I can only understand like a quarter of Post Malone songs. So like,
that was good. You got me. All right, continue. You were talking about LaCroix. You're pirate.
It was the pirate couple. This was the one that essentially they started as basic pirates, and then by the time 5 years is like passed, they became like demigods. Like they had specific powers and shit. And she essentially became a psionic, which was like apparently a precursor to that the mystic or whatever. And like I had a really, really awesome backstory written for both of them. Like essentially just that, you know, they end up getting their own ship. It gets mutinied by like a dead pirate captain that's come back to life, and that like was essentially a story arc.
That sounds exactly like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, it kind of was, but there's some interesting stuff in there too.
Interesting story where like a dead captain comes back and takes the shit.
Well, it was a different kind of captain though, and actually I think it was it's kind of funny enough. Like I think it was a lich pirate captain, which made it more interesting. Like because we essentially had to become demigods to be able to fight that.
You can kill a lich without demigods.
Well, I mean, yeah, but also, I mean, why not?
I guess.
Like, it's kind of fun.
If you can be a demigod, why not?
Yeah, it's kind of fun, you know? So, like, and essentially, so they get mutinied out by, you know, this lich captain or whatever, and the lady gets her throat cut, and she, like, gets her psionic abilities and gets telepathy as, like, a first level skill. And is able to, like, talk through her familiar, which is a bird that sits on her shoulder. Which I always thought was, like, a really cool concept. Like, that's something I want to bring back at some point. I'm not sure how, and I'm not sure where.
You gotta rehash your old character that you already played.
No,
fully.
like I said, I'm not going to bring it back as another character. But I do want to bring it back as a concept at some point.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Not maybe not as a character. Like, I mean, like I said, that road has been traveled.
If you went all the way from pirate to demigod, it sounds like you played it out. That's retired.
Hell long campaign. That's probably the longest campaign I've ever been in.
How long did it last? You said 5 years.
About 4 to 5 years. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was awesome. And
like I said, the longest I ever did was that Call of Cthulhu campaign, and that was at most maybe 2 months, and that wasn't like 2 or 3 months, if that. I mean, of sessions. It wasn't that many sessions. We got that shit knocked out.
Right.
Like, we were efficient.
Yeah, I mean,
I ended up dying, even though I was like the hard carry the whole game. He killed me off in the end because I think I pissed him off. I was being a bit of a murder hobo, and I killed one of our party members. And then, I didn't kill him. We mutilated him. And then left him alive, and then I felt remorse for my actions. Keep in mind, I didn't mutilate him on my own. The whole party agreed that he was betraying us.
Right.
And that I could have my way with him.
Oh, okay.
So,
but I mean, you did still mutilate him on your own, just with their approval, right?
Yes, everyone approved of it. And then I felt remorseful specifically, so I took him to the god who I'd been worshipping on the side this is why I was a carry. I'd been actually worshipping an enemy god of the god that we were trying to deal with. And I brought him to him, and I was like, hey, because we chopped off his limbs, his arms and legs, and left him a vegetable man. I passed some crazy surgery rolls, dude. Like, multiple times our DM was like, if you don't get a, critical success here, dead.
Right.
He's dead. You're not just leaving him a vegetable man. I got so many critical successes, dude. Actual God wanted me to make him a vegetable man in this game.
Real life God.
I got so many critical successes that he ended up a vegetable man. And then I tried to double down on my success, and that's where I failed. I took him to my God, and I was in game. And I was like, yo, hey, can you give him, I don't know, tentacles for arms and legs or something, some kind of new appendage?
Right.
Dude just gave him my arms and legs. Dude took my arms and legs. And then Robert did end up betraying us. He was planning on betraying us to the cult the whole time. So he gave them my vegetable ass who couldn't fight back anymore.
Oh,
and I got sacrificed.
What a douche.
So even though they ended up winning and foiling the cult's plans, I wasn't part of it.
No, you got sacrificed for the greater good beyond your will because you're a psychopath.
I wasn't a psychopath. I was a scientist from the 1950s, so, they didn't have rules back then.
And technically I wasn't breaking rules, so that doesn't make me a psychopath.
Yeah.
There was a morality back
then. There was an NPC that he refused to let me kill. Because, I wasn't killing everyone, but there was a specific NPC that, based on my background, I didn't like.
Right.
I didn't like him. And I kept trying to get him, and he would try to make him this essential NPC. And at one point we were in this hotel, and he was having this big scene go down with the hotel, and I planned it so far ahead. So I was playing a doctor scientist type character, so my main form of combat a lot of the time was a chloroform rag.
Right.
So I for some reason he let me do a chloroform check. Right, he'd foiled me every other time, but for some reason he allowed it this time. I think it was because the guy was in the middle of something. Like, something else was going on that was supposed to be distracting both of us. But I was like, he's distracted, roll for a I want a chloroform rag as NPC. Right. And, like, he allowed...
That's got to be Dex, right? Or Strength?
I don't remember, at the time. Like...
Dex, probably.
Probably Dex. Or something. But either way, he let me do the chloroform check, and I just left the guy in our hotel room. I had future plans. And then I proceeded... There was supposed to be this big event in the hotel, but I proceeded to leave said hotel while everyone else was dealing with the hotel, and I ventured off to, like, a nearby gas station and picked up some fuel and a lighter and came back and lit that whole bitch up.
Jeez.
And just lit the whole hotel on fire, and, like, everyone who could get out got out. That was important, right? Villain and ally alike. But not when we were all out and we were driving away, I was like, hey, that NPC still chloroformed? And he was mad. He was like, God damn it. Because I think he planned on, like, foiling me again on any attempt of killing that guy. Because, like, I knew even after I chloroformed him, if I went in for the kill, like, some enemy would have bashed down the hotel door. And, like, right then and there. So I had to make it elaborate to kill said NPC. I had to burn down a whole hotel. I played like a bit of a murder hobo that game. A bit.
Yeah, I could,
But
I'd be a little angry.
I mean, it's Call of Cthulhu, right? Like, and like, I wanted to worship a deity, so, like, that was my goal. Like, I had to make myself stand out, and I was contacted
and
as a result.
Kill as much sanity as you possibly can in such a quick amount of time.
I mean, I didn't lose much sanity for chloroforming people. That
what about setting the hotel on fire?
I think that was pretty in line with my character as far as the act of defense. It was an evil hotel. Pretty much all the people there were fish people.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The only one I could have lost sanity for was the NPC, and I maybe did lose some for killing that NPC. But the fish people, I don't think it mattered if I set them on fire.
No.
Like,
no. They don't need to be in our realm.
Yeah. It was a fish hotel.
A fish hotel.
We just had an essential NPC that I didn't like, and I don't play that Skyrim you can't kill kids bullshit. He wasn't a kid, but if he had been, I wouldn't have
cared. I was gonna say, why'd you even specify that to begin with?
Well, I don't know.
It's a little bit of the...
That's the only thing you can't kill in Skyrim, right? Well, I guess there's other essential NPCs, but mostly kids.
Yeah, you can't do kids in Skyrim.
And, like, the campaign characters.
You originally could in Fable, and then you couldn't after that.
Like, are you talking about in Lost Chapters they removed killing kids? I think you could still kill kids.
No, it was before Lost Chapters. I think it was just like the first round of whenever Fable first came out.
Lost Chapters is the DLC for Fable. You probably never played it, did you?
Well, no. I'm thinking because it was still just it was still even just the base game. I think they recalled it or something along that caliber.
Oh.
Or maybe it never made it past
Probably.
testing. I think that's probably what it was.
I mean, you can beat up kids, but I don't think you can kill
Yeah, you can never kill them. That was the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely beat one up. I remember there's like one in the starting area that you can punch, and I remember at one point I just like punched him for like 30 minutes or something,
It's so satisfying. Especially when he's a little shithead.
Yeah, he's like a bully or something.
Yeah, he's a little asshole.
So it's justified. But yeah, Call of Cthulhu, that's the only other campaign I've ever finished. Beyond that, yeah, 1 or 2 sessions most of the time. Honestly, I have a tendency to be a bit of a murder hobo, so I'm reforming in that regard. And
I'm trying to be a better person, damn it.
Yeah. As a DM, I'm going to be a complete hypocrite and not allow any murder hobos.
That's how I reform.
Yeah, by cutting other people off.
Authoritarianism.
Yes. We're at 50 minutes. We can do a Reddit wrap up, or we can keep talking D&D shop if we've got anything left to say. If you've thought of anything.
I mean, we can probably still do a bit of Reddit wrap up, because really the last thing that I thought of was the year-long campaign that I did with my friend and his dad. That was World of Darkness. The Vampire the Masquerade. Yeah.
Oh, Vampire the Masquerade.
It was the Vampire the Masquerade, and it was I think it was probably one of my favorites as well. Just because like of how in depth he went with the politics behind all the vampire clans. Because all the clans from the game, like the one that I'm streaming on Twitch, all the clans from the game are actually from the pen and paper version, and they all have their own like sort of government in the way that they run their shit, and then they have like a giant collective where everybody kind of meets, and it was like super cool to like really get in the lore of that, which is kind of making me pretty interested like
in the game.
Yeah, because like the Malkavians, which are like the just crazy psychotic ones, like they all meet like, and they have like and they all like have teacups with like rats in them, sewer rats in them, because Malkavians are the only ones that have a generally low enough humanity, or that generally feed on rats like in the sewers and stuff like that. Just because they're crazy, they don't really care.
Yeah, they'll drink any blood.
Yeah, but no, that's why I'm like super interested, because I know we were talking about it earlier. But like whenever we're kicking up this D&D campaign, it's gonna be really interesting to actually get into the lore of it, because there's a lot of really really good lore that can be found there that you kind of overlook when you do it like as just a guide to make characters in a game mechanics guide.
And that's why I'm interested in D&D so much, doing it now. Even just doing like 5th edition, like the most basic bitch version of it, just because like you said, there's so much stuff written,
right?
So like, yeah, Palladium's cool, and I like the classes and the races and all the like the dice mechanics, but it's old, and I don't think it's probably updated, if it's even relevant anymore. I don't know. I haven't looked into Palladium. Same thing with like a lot of them. They're just probably not updated and kept up with. Whereas Dungeons and Dragons, been here, will be here, continually updated.
They try and keep it somewhat like lore friendly from the old stuff to the new stuff to an extent. Obviously,
and even if not, like a lot of people, I mean, pretty much all the old lore is like, I think, still canon. Maybe they cut stuff every now and then, but I think a lot of things get adapted. Like even if there's not a way to use a mechanic in 5e, like people have made ways to
definitely. Homebrew is awesome.
Yeah, homebrew adaptations are definitely viable with all the old stuff from 2nd edition and 3rd edition, if you do want to mess with it, which is something I think we will eventually maybe like try and mess with, but obviously we're just going for a reliable group. Yeah, let's do a Reddit wrap up.
Reddit wrap up. This is it's always one of the more interesting ones, one of my favorite ones.
I mean, it'll probably be boring maybe, so don't get your hopes up. It's Reddit.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Never get your hopes up when you're scrolling through Reddit. That's
that's a rookie mistake there.
Rookie mistake. All right. We got.
Are we still going off of that fresh, clean cookies thing?
Ooh, that one's a good one. Second one in. Today I fucked up by banging my first cousin.
Oh boy, here we go. All right.
You must be 18 plus to view this community.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. This is going to be an interesting story. Let's see.
Man. And just for you guys' information, this is like a non-signed in Reddit account. Like, no, this laptop's literally used for like nothing.
Not subscribed to anything but what you get when you first.
Yeah, it's basically the basic Reddit front page we're scrolling through. And this was the second one in. The first one was like, what game have you stuck with like the longest? And I considered it, but then I saw this and I was like...
I mean, this is the showstopper right here. Like, I mean, from the way...
Oh, okay, so if you guys aren't familiar with Today I Fucked Up, typically the very first line in a Today I Fucked Up is, so... It didn't happen today.
It happened like a couple months ago or 5 years ago.
Well, yeah, it's like years and years ago half the time. And it's like, okay, whatever. Like, you've already lived off the shame of it. Now you're just like, hey guys, funny story, right? Like, no, we want people who are feeling shame currently.
Right.
And this guy kind of is, because it's not today, but it's last weekend. That's recent enough.
Last weekend? Oh,
That's
no.
recent enough.
Well, even before you dive into it, the title alone, like, I get the feeling that it was definitely an accident. So I'm kind of curious to see where
I want
this
to see
goes.
how this accident happened. Finally getting around to really processing it all, and I guess trying to deal with it. Went out for drinks with my girlfriend and met up with my younger cousin at the bar. He already knew it was his cousin, and he has a girlfriend. Okay, let's continue.
Whoa, wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Wait, unless it's a different cousin. Like, that's a different cousin.
Went out for drinks with my girlfriend. You think he's been dating his first cousin and no one told him?
No. Like...
No. Went out for drinks with my girlfriend and met up with my younger cousin. So he has a girlfriend. They met up with his cousin. He knew it was his cousin. Let's continue.
Okay.
We'd all hung out once before and had a great time. My cousin invited a couple of her friends to the bar too. We did some bar hopping. I got shit-faced pretty unintentionally. The last bar was, I swear, not putting any mixers in my cocktails. They were straight alcohol. So anyway, we're about to leave, and my cousin's friends are trying to get her home. What kind of bars are you going to? I don't know. Sounds nice.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Like, I wish I could get pure alcohol for the same price. God, it almost makes me want us to... We're going to go to a Thai place later, but I want to drink. But... But you can't get that at the Thai place.
No.
Maybe you could get beer, but like...
Even if you could, I don't know if I want to, necessarily...
I want margaritas and Mexican food, honestly, to a degree. We're going to resist that urge, I think, for now. All right, let's continue.
All right, let's go back. We're a little too off the rails there.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
So anyway, we're about to leave. My cousin's friends are trying to get her home because she's shit-faced too.
Of course.
Well, my girlfriend was our DD, so we offered to let her stay in our spare room. Everyone was cool with that because who's safer than family, right? Doesn't sound like you're a very safe family.
Wrong.
Wrong. He said wrong.
Yes.
He said wrong.
Yes.
We get home, and I had to piece together some of this later because I blacked out for most of it. Apparently, initially, everything was cool. My cousin went to the spare room, and my girlfriend got her situated.
Okay.
The problem started a little later when I, in my infinite wisdom, decided to walk straight out of my bedroom with my girlfriend in it, and into my cousin's room.
Why?
This sounds like an alibi. I don't remember anything. I was blacked out.
Yeah,
I thought she was 18.
Watch this legit be like some dude's alibi so he can show his lawyer tomorrow and be like, see? This is proof. This is proof of what I've been telling you. Reddit believes me. Look, I got platinum. Do you know what platinum means?
I'm plat, bitch. I don't particularly remember much except for two details, which I guess are not important to the story. Well, okay, so one might be... Okay. This guy is shit posting. I remember her giving me a very, in italics, enthusiastic BJ. Which, as you can imagine, makes a lot of noise.
Oh my god.
Apparently after a while, my girlfriend came out of the room wondering where I was because I just fucking disappeared. She didn't barge into the room or anything, but she heard the noises, which is pretty fucking obvious. So at that point, she left. Like me. She left me and I don't blame her. Yeah, you fucked your cousin, dude. You don't get over that.
Was that the end?
No.
Oh.
Anyway, that means I wake up the next morning, having blacked out, oblivious that my girlfriend was gone already, but I'm fucking naked next to my naked cousin. This is so graphic. There's cum all over the bed.
Why is this so graphic?
Where her face was.
Why?
She didn't even sleep with a pillow. There's obviously no hiding this, but I'm still half drunk and I went to try to go sneak back into my room, which I found empty. So yeah. I haven't heard from my girlfriend all week and I'm sure we're done and I don't blame her. Okay, this is such a shit post.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
All I can hope for now is that this shit doesn't get out to my family because it would probably implode. No, my cousin and I are going to start... Oh, no, I thought he said they were going to start hooking up regularly, and I was like, wait, what? Is this 4chan?
Yeah, I was going to say.
No, my cousin and I are not going to start hooking up regularly. It's actually super awkward, and she has hardly said a word to me either. Again, I don't blame her.
Wow. That has got to be a shit post.
That's so on him if it is real, though. Like...
Why did... Okay, here's my only... The thing that bothers me is if it is real, that is horrific. Like that, he's like, it almost sounds like he's so proud, like talking about like the cum
Yeah,
stains, like
the blowjob part
unnecessary-
is very weird.
It's
like,
very like, oh, she's like.
he's like, there's two details. They're not relevant, but I'll go ahead and tell you one of them.
Yeah.
Blowjobs are loud, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's the relevant part, I guess, to make sure you know his girlfriend heard him, because blowjobs are loud, am I right?
Yeah, it wasn't just like, oh, I had a sexual, this encounter happened. It was like, bro, as soon as my girlfriend walked up to the door, she thought I was like stirring lasagna, dude. Like, he's like bragging about it, dude. Like, he's having a beer.
Bragging about it.
So
dude.
like, it's either
this
gotta
is
be
like a
fake.
Pornhub comment. Like,
It's either gotta be fake, or they are probably gonna be hooking up regularly.
okay, let's see if any of the top comments are worth a damn. So far, the first two kind of looked pretty lame. I'm really surprised there's not a comment saying
nice
this
catch,
is a
bro.
lie. No, saying this is bullshit. Like,
Nobody's calling it out. Everybody's believing it.
yeah, everyone's like telling him like, "Oh, this is fucked up," or "Oh, you better leave your home."
You better leave your home. Join the circus.
Like this one said, "I think you might find this link helpful. 47 work abroad programs." And this one, just start saving up to move far away from anyone who ever knew you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, not really interesting comments. Alright, this guy calls it out in a clever way. Honestly, the inordinately high frequency with which Redditors seem to bang close relatives, crap themselves in public, lose things up their body cavities, and leave their Bluetooth speakers on is shocking.
I was gonna say.
It's just not, yeah, he's just like calling it out for being fake. Like,
So
and that's
bullshit.
one of the replies is, "Today I fucked up by banging my married cousin and blasting porn on my parents' Bluetooth speakers while being poisoned by carbon monoxide, and now my phone is stuck up my ass despite having explosive diarrhea for 2 days because of the gas station dick pills I took after drinking too much when my mom found my special coconut."
Oh my god.
All in one
Mom
breath.
found the coconut.
That was a good that should be a copy pasta. I don't keep copy pastas. I might copy that.
You might copy that pasta.
That might be a new copy for
That's
my
not
pasta.
bad. Well, that was a fucking roller coaster right after that.
Yeah. And of a Reddit post.
Yeah.
We went from kind of boring sheets, but, whatever. Skip ahead. The rest was interesting enough, I'd say. Our personal stories about D&D, and then this shit post.
Fuck this cousin.
Yeah, it's shit post. But, we can hope, right?
Yeah.
Wincest.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah. Well, it doesn't help when you call it wincest.
Hey,
it's just a program.
My
Mom,
4chan days are behind me, but some of it hides in the recesses of my personality.
You can take the man out the chan, but you can't take the chan out the man.
Okay, we're ending there. I think every episode has ended with me disappointed in one of your jokes. So we'll just keep that trend going and end it there. Peace.
Peace.